Clearfield and one specific for Elk. We also did a youth survey, and we asked our youth, you know, how would you describe your community? And it went from negative to positive thoughts. So some of the things they said, you know, the things that they liked were scenic, friendly, fun, good people, welcoming, and quiet. Some of the negative things were boring, drug-filled, rundown. So those are some of, you know, in a smaller rural community, kids tend to be, you know, bored. Some of the things we saw, they wanted, of course, they wanted more activities for them to participate, you know, recreationally. And of course, they want a Chick-fil-A, a mall, a Target, you know, the things that, you know, you would expect. What they love about their community, small town friendliness, quietness, the beauty, the nature, water access, all those things are really important to them as well. So, and then we have the public survey that's going now, so we encourage everyone to take advantage of that survey. You know, a big component of this, there are a lot of different recommendations. Energy was a big factor. Of course, we're seeing like hydrogens, we can talk about natural gas, we're seeing solar development, we're seeing a lot of federal dollars right now. So, you know, one of the things we're looking for is, you know, how can we take advantage of our assets here for clean energy deployment, and also, you know, the natural gas is, you know, keeping it here, using it for, you know, existing and maybe advancing more manufacturing to support our energy. I think we have a great opportunity to once again be a powerhouse for energy, as we did back in the day with coal. And, you know, that's some of the things that we're looking at as well. So I really encourage everyone to take a look at the plan, give us your feedback, and please participate in the survey that's available. But thank you.
Thank you.
I will say I was part of the, I guess, the committee on this, and the work that Jody has put in is just amazing. I mean, there was a long way to go from where we were a few months ago to this draft plan, and she was a big piece of it, so thank you.
I wanted to mention too that if somebody wants to take a look at it, it really is an interesting read. It's not something you normally would make a joke about taking home when you're having problems sleeping. I mean, it really is. I thought it read well, and I also thought the material was understandable and very interesting. Jody, just a couple of things I noted in it that, or I noticed in it, that a couple of things the county's doing, your focus groups have recommended development of a countywide redevelopment authority to address the housing issues, but also I saw in there you recommended it, or not you, but the appropriate focus group or groups recommended a drug court, which is something Clearfield County's been, the county commissioners have been advocating for some time. I think we have somebody else, I guess, here who knows something about that, to put it lightly. But anyway, I would recommend to folks, please take a look at it. It actually, it's not something you're going to plow through. It's something you can, in a couple of hours, you can read it, you can digest it, and it makes interesting reading because it gives you a pretty good picture of where the county is, counties, I should say.
And it's a great resource for anyone that's looking, like, for example, drug court. You're looking for support for grant application. This is what they're going to ask for. They're going to say, you know, is it supported by your community? How did you go out and do public engagement? And we have done all of that. So it's a relevant, you know, up-to-date document that multiple entities and folks in the county can use as a resource to support whatever funding they may be going after.
Yeah. Hey, one other question, Jody. You talked about community solar in there. I had a different understanding. Can you explain what community solar is? I had a different understanding of what it was than what I read in the report.
Community solar, my understanding, is where the solar energy goes to a specific community directly. It's not going up on the grid. It's being used by the community. And right now, there's no regulation allowing community solar, is my understanding. There is draft legislation out there. I haven't seen it move in a while. But that's something a lot of folks are looking to get support from our legislators on, is being able to use that energy, because we are geared up to receive a lot of the proposed solar development that's in the queue right now. A lot of them are proposed here in Clearfield County, and that's probably because of our past, you know, mining activity, and because we have some previously mined areas, and we're not ag, we're a lot of forested areas on these lands that were like ag land, so I think that's what makes us kind of a prime, and there's a lot of, money right now, federal money, geared towards going to these coal energy kind of communities and providing some opportunities for those areas, so I think it lines up really nicely, but to take, the big project right now, we probably read about the mineral solar. Unfortunately, all that right now, energy that's gonna be produced off that solar project are gonna go to New York State. So I think it would be great to see more opportunities for those energy opportunities, for energy to stay here, our natural gas to be used here, for our solar power to be used here, and hope in that community is an opportunity to use it here.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there's also like power output limits on what they consider to be community solar. It's smaller than these big industrial.
Yeah,
And I'm going from memory, but I wanted to say it was like 3 to 10 megawatts or something like that. It's not huge, but it's big enough to support a small area, right, of houses.
yeah, and the practical area, the electric bill should come down, is one of the positive effects of it.
That's what we're all hoping for.
Yeah. Thank you.
We appreciate everything you've done, and we certainly encourage the public to look at the website and read the document and give feedback, because we can still make changes to the draft if necessary. That's the whole point.
Exactly, thank you.
Yes, and I agree completely with what my fellow commissioners have said. Thank you, and while this was a group effort with Elk County, there are actually a report within it. It's two separate reports, but as one larger comprehensive plan, but well worth looking at and provides some interesting insight to what the county residents think. And still the opportunity to add to that and make changes as needed.
All right, well, thank you very much. Item number 2 is consider using American Rescue Program funds, or at least what used to be American Rescue Program funds, to assist the Clearfield Lawrence Township Airport Authority with a couple of their projects. So, I know we had talked about, they have a number of projects that they had come to us, and they need local match to do them, such as rehabilitate and improve hangar and terminal facilities. They have to reseal the parallel taxiway. They have to reseal the runway. They have to rehabilitate the lighting around the runway, and they also have to install a new glide slope indicator. So when planes come in, there are lights that tell you if you're too high or too low. And I know that system is old. So they're talking about doing all that in the next 2 years, and the local match that they're requesting was on a total cost of $728,000. The local match they're asking for help with is $44,836. So that's what has been requested. I think personally, and I'll admit that I have an interest in this because I'm a pilot and I like to see our our local airports kept up and kept viable, that these are definitely needed things. If you don't do them, the airport eventually goes to pot and becomes unflyable, which is basically where Mid-State is now. I wouldn't fly in there because it's been, the maintenance has not been kept up.
Well, I believe, or at least my understanding over the years has been, there's been, not that we're like a city in the state of Delaware, which is a corporate center for the United States, but I mean, we do get, I know there are smaller I call them corporate jets that do come in for businesses that are located here in the Clearfield area, and I certainly think an airport, whether it's a big one or a small one, an airport certainly is an asset to communities. So I certainly, or communities, I should say, I certainly would be in favor of making an award of rescue dollars to the airport.
And I'm on board with this. Through the Federal Rural Aviation Act, a large amount of rural airports and small municipal airports funding does come from the federal government. This is a very reasonable local match. The county is not actually in an ownership position with the Clearfield Lawrence Airport. I will mention that the ownership municipalities are Clearfield Borough and Lawrence Township. So we would like them to step up a little bit to the plate, but in this case, I am firmly on board with using these funds.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing we've used these funds for to help different, but I would like to echo what Commissioner Winters said. This is a one-time deal from the county, and we feel strongly that the township and the borough need to step up and actually take care of their own airport. And we've made that pretty clear, so.
And today, we're just reinforcing, making that clear one more time, so. But I will make a motion that we use what were previously American Rescue Fund funds in the amount requested by
$44,836.
$44,836 for the local match portion of the Clearfield Lawrence Township Airport Authority's project.
And I will be happy to second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that's done. Item number 3 is a data release agreement with Penn State. Did you have a chance to look at this?
I did, yes.
Okay.
We've participated with Penn State in prior years under the CYS statutes. We are able to share data for research purposes, and that's what this comes down to. So this agreement just ensures that any data that is shared with Penn State is done appropriately, it's kept confidential, as well as making sure the Penn State processes for access to that information. So that has been reviewed and approved. It is a 5-year agreement. It's actually retroactive back to March 1st of 2023. And there is a 30-day termination should we run into any issues.
But to be clear, we've had agreements like this with them for data similar to or
Yes.
identical to this, okay?
Yes.
This is basically a continuation of an existing agreement?
Correct.
Okay, very good.
Well, then I will, Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the data release agreement with Penn State as described.
And I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And item number 4 is an intergovernmental agreement between Clearfield County and Center County regarding actually having inmates in each other's jail for whatever purpose, whether it's overcrowding or sometimes there are certain inmates that you don't want in a certain population and you would want to move them out. So have you reviewed this document as well?
I have. We've had prior agreements with Center County. This is the very similar agreement as to our prior one. I do believe 2023 expired. I'm not aware that we've had to house inmates over there, which is why we were looking to get the agreement in place in case we do. It is $75 per day that we would pay for them, and then this agreement would take us through the end of this year. There are provisions, though, on a month-to-month extension in case that inmate cannot be moved back for whatever reason, as far as that would go. But it is identical to our prior agreement with Center County.
And this is a reciprocal agreement that goes back and forth both ways?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I will make a motion that we approve the intergovernmental agreement with Center County.
Now I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then there's one item that we didn't quite get on. The holiday weekend messes up the scheduling, the 24-hour, but this is just a resolution. And so,
Yes, and it's gonna come through a public comment, so we would be fine to take,
okay,
right, someone speaking on it
Want to
as well,
revisit?
or we can, yeah,
revisit
either way,
public.
there's no funds being done or anything
Nope.
along those lines, it was just brought to the attention like.
right, so, what, did you, I guess Chris here from Drug and Alcohol, did you have a specific topic or?
No, I was just coming to see if the commissioners had anything that they needed from the Drug and Alcohol
Oh, okay,
Commission.
well,
Compliment help out.
okay, well, this isn't directly related to you, but it's certainly right there with you. It's basically a resolution urging for more mental health funding, which obviously, mental health,
Right.
substance abuse,
hand in hand.
they're hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And so this is basically CCAP, the County Commissioner Associations, with them resolving the 911 funding issue. This is the number one issue. We've been asking the state to fund mental health better for years. We specifically asked for a $250 million increase. They didn't do it last year. Right now is budget time, and so the commissioners around the state are asking counties to basically show their support for this increased funding. And so this resolution, which I'll read in, is basically us saying, yes, we want that, we support that, and if we get these resources, we'll promise to put them to good use here to basically combat the mental health crisis that we all know we're facing here, just as same as anywhere else in the state. So I'll read it real quick. Whereas Clearfield County strongly urges the county mental health-based funding increase to ensure that residents are able to access the care that they need. Counties provide community-based mental health services such as residential programs, family-based support, outpatient care, and crisis intervention, which are critical to the well-being of our constituents and communities. Pennsylvania has not invested adequately in these resources. Since 2008, these funds have been eroded by state budget cuts and the elimination of cost of living adjustments. Community-based programs no longer have the resources to be innovative and keep up with the demand for needed services and have contributed to the closure of many community-based services. Clearfield County has invested in community-based mental health services that coordinate and invest in programs and services that meet the needs of and challenges of local communities, including Community Connections, SendClear, and other local providers. The state-county partnership across all areas of service delivery must again be prioritized, including a commitment to additional and sustainable funding for community-based mental health services. Therefore, be it resolved that the county calls on the governor and the General Assembly to make a significant state investment in rebuilding the mental health system in PA by increasing the mental health base by $250 million in the fiscal year 24-25 budget. And be it further resolved that we call on the governor and the General Assembly to commit to a long-term plan of further increases over the next 5 to 10 years to pull Pennsylvania's mental health system from the brink of collapse to one that fully meets the needs of the state. And we resolve that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Clearfield County Legislative Delegation, Governor Shapiro, and to CCAP.
So moved.
And second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Yeah, the stagnation and actual decrease in that funding over the years is, as I'm sure Chris will attest, it's affecting a lot of things.
Thank you.
Okay. And an announcement that we had a resignation from the Clearfield County Public Library Board because of schedule conflicts. They're trying to find a replacement, so if anybody is interested in the Clearfield County Public Library Board, please send us a letter of interest. I would say by June 7th, and then we can take action at the June 11th board meeting.
Okay.
Am I off a day?
No.
Okay. Is anything else? Do you have anything for us?
Nothing this morning.
All right. Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
in Jeff's absence, are there any questions?